Well, what's up everyone? Welcome back to Own the Hunt. Today we're going to be doing a review on a little thermal device. That's right, it fits inside this little case. Sub $400. Let's see if it's worth your money. So first off, guys, I just want to say a huge shout out to iRay for sending me this device. This is a tiny little thermal monocular, and it's 400 bucks. Honestly, when iRay messaged me and said, hey, would you consider reviewing this little device? It's called the T2 Pro. I said, tell me about it. And they gave me a little bit of information, and I was not excited. I straight up told them, like, I don't know that I see a use for it. I don't think it really fits into kind of what I'm looking to do with my channel. But I said, you know what? Go ahead and send me one. I'll check it out. If I'm impressed by it, I'll review it, and I'll tell people, you know, what I think. So here's the deal. I'm pretty impressed with this unit. 400 bucks for this guy. You can get some accessories for it, and I'm going to show you guys those in a bit. But essentially what this is this is a small thermal monocular or thermal camera. It can be used with an iPhone, or if you have an Android, they sell an Android version as well. I'll put links into the description for everything that I talked about today in the video. But basically, it's this tiny little thermal camera. It plugs into your phone, or if you want to use some of the accessories, they've got a cable that you can plug into the device itself and plug that into your phone. And I'll go over that stuff in just a little bit. This is going to be a relatively long video, guys, because I'm actually have a lot to say about it. So it's a 12 micron pixel pitch in the sensor, 256 core, which is, I mean, not great, but honestly pretty impressive for what this is. It works excellent. So on the front here, this is the main camera housing or lens housing. It unscrews, screws back in. That's your focus. The only real con I have on this device, given what it is that this focus isn't very good. Not good in that it doesn't work. It works excellent, but it's not good in that when you try to manipulate it, it's very touchy and sensitive and difficult to get it where you want it. And then once you get it there, it's really easy for it to move on you. So that's my only real con on this device. Other than that, it's machined out of a really nice aluminum, pretty solid unit, well made. Comes with a lens cap, so kind of great as far as that goes. Given the price point, comes with this nice case with the foam cutout for it. Put it in there, close it up. Makes for an awesome little travel unit. Downside on this, right? So the downside is you got to have a cell phone to look through it, right? As like a viewfinder. So that's not great, but also it could be perfect for someone who's looking for a thermal device to scan a field with, or scan their bait real quick, or even just leave their phone kind of set up on a tripod or something, looking at their bait. Excellent option for that. The app that this uses, it's actually pretty impressive. The app has a lot of cool features. One of which is audio recording and video, so it uses your phone's microphone for audio, and then obviously it just captures the video from it, and it does a phenomenal job at capturing video. Some of the accessories that they included with this, a handle, and so with this handle, you can actually take the little unit here, screw it on like that, plug your cord into the end right there, take your phone. Now this is kind of where it's really different than anything else on the market. You take your phone, put it in the housing like this, take that cord, plug it into your charge port, and then on your phone's actually going to ask you, once you have the app downloaded, it's going to ask you, do you want to allow this device to communicate with your phone? You just click allow, and the app goes ahead and launches, and it's automatically going to read the device. It's going to see it. You don't even have to go in and pair it like in Bluetooth or anything. The app is right there. I don't think it's probably going to show anything very good, but man, the app works excellent. Lot of cool features. And so this is how you use it. I mean, you literally just take this thing, scan around, look for heat. It does a great job. It's got a nuke feature, so you can nuke the screen, also known as like calibrate it. So once the image quality starts getting kind of grainy just over time, which all thermals do, you press this little button down here and it nukes the screen. It's got multiple different color palettes and they all look great. My favorite is white hot, pretty much with any thermal device I use, so white hot it is for me. But this little rig is pretty cool. And the video quality is great. I mean, given what it is, I would say detection on this guy, you're probably looking at heat detection out to like 400 or 500 yards, if I had to be honest. And then identification on game, you're looking at probably 100 to 150 yards. And that's being generous. I'd say closer to 100. I had a friend of mine, a girl, walk out into at the end of my driveway. I'll show that here. And that's about 75 yards. And obviously at the end, like, you could clearly identify her as a human or a person. And if that was a coyote, you might have trouble identifying the difference between a coyote and deer. So I'm gonna say around 100 yards for small game is what you're looking for. But really cool little package here. So where this unit surprises me is really not necessarily what it can do here, but it's what it could possibly do. So you can buy a scope housing for it, essentially. And I'll make sure I put the link to this down below. So with this scope housing, you can take the little thermal device and you can put it inside this scope housing. You drop it right down in and it goes in there, and then there's a couple of little things you need. There's a little thing that screws into the back to hold it in. There's a 90-degree adapter that plugs onto the connection on it. So you need a few things. All that comes with this housing. And then this thing goes onto the back of the housing, right? And so that screws in, and then your phone would hold into that, and then this whole unit would screw onto the Picatinny rail of your rifle. Well, that's really cool. When I saw that, I was like, you know what? Actually, I do want to review this thing, right? Because maybe it could be used as a thermal scanner and a scope. And for 400 bucks, there is no thermal scope on the market that I'm aware of that will do really anything useful, right? This is actually a good video quality or image quality, decent. Be a perfect setup if this thing would work as a scope and hold up to recoil and hold zero. This would be a perfect setup for a guy who's got a bait site 100 yards or so out and wants to set this up either in his house or in a shooting shack or whatever it may be. Man, for 400 bucks, I'm like, yeah, I want to talk about this and I want to test this. So when I got the opportunity for my array, I took him up on it. So here's the deal. We're gonna go to my buddy's house and we're gonna put this on my AR and we're gonna try shooting this. And we're just gonna see. I've not done it yet and I don't know how it's gonna do, but if this thing can work as a scope, they've got something here. And I want you guys to know about it because for the money, I don't know that there's another solution out there. So I have seen videos of people putting these on an air pellet rifle and shooting pigeons and things like that. Now, that's all great, but what about an actual high-powered rifle? You know, a 223, 6.5 Grendel, 243, something like that. Can this hold up to that? And so that's the question. And so what we're going to do today is we're actually going to go out to the range. We're going to shoot some shots and see how it does. And I'll let you know. One thing I will tell you guys is this housing does not come with this riser. So there's actually a riser on the bottom of this. This is a UTG riser. I'll put a link to that in the description as well. But this is a UTG RS08S3, and I'll go ahead and pop the link in there. But you're gonna want this riser, and I'll tell you why if you try this. So you need the riser because without it, the housing sits too low on the rifle rail, and you actually will see a heat signature from your rail and then obviously your barrel. So the riser prevents that. You don't see any heat signature in front of the thermal, And so you definitely want that riser. So guys, kind of enough about this. I mean, there's plenty of reviews out there about this little device and what it can do and how it works. But I really wanted to focus my video on, can it actually work as a scope? Because I truly believe that's the real question. If it can, then man, you've got something. If it can't, then here's the thing. Here's where I'm at with it. If it can't be used as a scope reliably, then where I'm at with this is AGM makes a thermal monocular that's about $500, $550. It's a 256 core, rechargeable internal battery, dedicated unit, shockproof, waterproof, thing's awesome. And it's like $550. That's the Taipan, I believe, TM10256. So the difference is this is a 2 power base magnification. That's like a 1 power, I believe, maybe a 1.5. Probably very, very, very similar video quality. It'll do video recording internally on that Taipan unit. No audio, whereas you get video and audio with this. So what I'm getting at is if this can only really be used reliably as a scanner or a monocular, and you have to use your phone with it, for the extra $100 or so, $150, I'd probably steer you towards the AGM Taipan. But if this can be used as a scope, we're on to something. So stay tuned, guys. We're gonna go hit the range and we're gonna put this thing to the test and see what it can do. All right, guys, well, we're out here. Like I told you, I'm gonna put this thing to the test and see what it can do. Sorry about that wind. It is pretty awful today. It is very cold. We're dealing with some crazy temps. It's gonna be like -40 degrees this weekend, and it's just been a nasty cold front for the past few days. So sorry about that wind. It is just really, really whipping. So I'm gonna do my best here to get this audio for you guys. Hopefully it's not terrible. Anyway, what we have, we've got the T2 Pro on top of my 223 rifle. I used to hunt with this thing. I love this gun. It has been a sweet setup, great rig. So I decided, let's throw that T2 Pro on there. Let's see if it can handle the recoil from this. This is a relatively soft shooting 223. We've got a full rifle length gas system on this, and it's a pretty soft shooting 223. So this is as extreme as I'm gonna go with it, guys. I don't wanna go crazy, but the fact is, if this device can hold up to the recoil on this 223, I am running 5.56 ammo through it, but it's a 223 wild barrel. If it can hold up to the recoil to that, man, I'm just gonna be super impressed with it. And so we'll see how it goes. I have no idea how the zeroing process is gonna go, guys. So the way it works is basically you're looking at your screen. You can move around the crosshair, but I kind of tried to line up off my rail, just looking down range at the target that I have down there. I've got a big piece of styrofoam insulation blue board, and on there I have stapled a small hot hands, so I have a hot target to look at in the scope. But so anyway, what I'm hoping is I'm somewhere close. And what I'll try to do is I'll try to dial it in using this method. I know it's going to be painful, but I'm going to try to dial it in so I can actually, you know, shoot a group, a decent group, and then see how it does holding zero. I can tell you right now, it was the focus ring is definitely touchy, like I mentioned before, but you know, in the grand scheme of things, that can be fixed. Like I said, I think that you could use an O-ring or something to tighten that down. So we're gonna give it a go. We're gonna see how this works out. It could be terrible, but it could be awesome. And if this thing holds up to the recoil and it can hold zero, I'm gonna be impressed. So stay with me. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I zoomed in this app. I've put my crosshair just kind of in the middle of the screen. I have no idea how this app is gonna behave as far as zeroing goes. So we're gonna let one fly, let two fly, probably three, go down, check to see that group, see if they're even on the board. If they're on the board, then we're gonna make the adjustment we need to make with this reticle here, and hopefully zero. I mean, it should be that easy. It might take a few times, but we're gonna try it out. I've never done anything like this by looking through like a viewfinder, so it's all new to me, but we're gonna give it a go. All right, so you got your ears on?
All right, let it rip.
First shot, I didn't see any issues as far as recoil. I didn't see the screen flicker. I might have flinched a little and missed that, but so far looking good. We'll take another couple shots. So the movement you're seeing, that's just my rifle moving in the tripod. right, that's 3 shots downrange. Let's go check it out. Alrighty guys, well, we have 3 impacts in a relatively decent group, all things considered, right here. You can see where my hot hands is. This is a pretty large piece of blue board, which I wanted because I just had no freaking clue how close this would be. Anyway, we're about a foot off in both directions, both windage and elevation. So we're gonna just bring that crosshair down and shoot another group and see what happens. But actually not bad, all things considered. So we'll go shoot another group, move the crosshair, see what happens. I'm sort of impressed a little bit. So all right, we'll give it hell, just a sec. Okay guys, so I am at the same point of aim I was before. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click on this crosshair button, and this is gonna allow me to move that crosshair. So because my impacts were high and to the left, I'm going to move my crosshair low and to the left, roughly where those impacts were, and call it good. Now, this is the part that's a little funky, is I'm not positive if there's a way to recenter that crosshair or not. So, okay, so I can move my picture within it and bring my picture to the crosshair, I suppose. Honestly, that seems counterintuitive. I feel like I might have just messed it up. Well, we're gonna try it. I have no idea if this is gonna work, to be honest. I'm gonna let these last 2 fly and go check them. I think I just messed it all up. We'll check it out. All right, we're empty. That was the last 2 rounds in that mag. I'm gonna walk down and check it. I think I messed it up. I might be surprised, we'll see. I don't know how this app behaves as far as, you know, moving the image. Right now I'm moving the image. So if I moved the crosshair down, then I move the image to it. I feel like I did nothing except for go back to where I just was the first time I shot my 3 rounds. So gonna go check it out and find out for sure. All right, so just as I thought, guys, you can see 3 impacts there, which, let's just respect that group right there off a tripod in this wind. It's only 50 yards, but that rifle just shoots awesome. I think you got these 2, but we're still talking a 1 MOA. It's at 50 yards, so not quite MOA, but still pretty sweet group. But that answers my question. Unfortunately, by moving my reticle and then moving my actual image down, which I don't feel like you should be able to do, but unfortunately by doing that, I basically just reversed what I had just done. So gonna go back and try to figure out how I wanna do this, and then hopefully I'll be able to zero, get on that hot hands and put some rounds on target. The good news is this thing's holding 0, and that's holding up to that recoil. It's a really soft shooting AR, like I told you guys, but pretty impressive for what it is. It's not designed to be a scope. I mentioned that before. It's really meant to be a handheld device, but they make that housing for it. It mounts on a Picatinny rail. It's got a crosshair. So in my mind, you should be able to use it as both, you know, a scanner or a scope if you wanted. You know, if you have a bait out 100 yards or something and you can get this thing zeroed, hard to beat it for the money. All right, we're gonna go back, try to get this thing figured out. I'd like to get it shooting on the hot hands. Okay, so what I did is I actually, rather than move the crosshairs down even further, which would take them kind of out of my picture, what I did is I actually moved the background image up to where my impacts were, and then I re-aimed my rifle onto that. I know that's a little confusing. I'll try to explain it better if this works so that you guys know what to do, but I'm learning at the same time, so we'll see. Anyway, I'm gonna send a couple more down. I think we'll be in the hot hands, I really do. Justin says no, but Justin doesn't know. So, and truthfully, I don't either. We're winging this. All right, guys, we're going hot. All right, 3 down range. I really have a good feeling about this. I can't see down there. We're only 50 yards, but I have a good feeling. Let's go check it out.
No good.
Justin, what do you say?
No good.
Are we taking bets?
No good. 50 bucks.
All right. Well, shout out to my buddy Justin really quick. He's got this awesome property here. You guys can see. I'm gonna try calling this for coyotes at some point right off. It's a good area for coyotes, and see what happens. But great area to zero a rifle. A couple of houses nearby, but they're all great people. We live in a small community, small neighborhood, so nothing to worry about. All right, let's go check this target out, guys, and see what happened. So sadly, Justin was right.
$50 richer, guys. $50.
I really wanted him to be wrong, but he was right this time. I'm not gonna tell his girlfriend Megan, fiance Megan, sorry Megan, if you watch this, that he was right, because we just like to give him a hard time. But we gotta go back and try to figure this out. It's got potential, guys. It really truly does. I'm gonna show you guys all this because the reality is you're gonna have to do what I do. It's gonna take a little finagling, but I think it would be worth it if you're on a budget and you want to do something like this. So we're gonna stick with it. I'm shooting just a bunch of cheap, I say cheap, it's not cheap anymore, there's no such thing, but just Winchester white box 5.56 ammo, so not a big deal. I'll burn through quite a few rounds to try and figure this out for you guys, so stay tuned. All right guys, I think this is gonna be the last one we try. It hasn't been a pleasant experience thing.
Dude.
Yeah, we're done, dude. We're done. So here's the deal, guys. You could definitely zero this as a scope if you want to fiddle with it. I don't think it's a great use for it. I think it's much better served as a monocular or a scanning device. You have too many variables to play with here in the app between being able to move your actual image and then also being able to move your crosshair and then also having the variable of your rifle actually moving, which is in turn moving the entire picture. Just too many variables. Unless there's something they can do in the software to prevent that, you know, prevent the movement of the image once you zoom in, as if it stays static and you're just simply magnifying that image, then I think it could be viable as a scope. I just don't think it is. Good news is if you want to fiddle with it, it will hold up to light recoil, at least from my testing. I haven't tried any heavier recoil and I don't plan to, but maybe an option for you guys. I'm gonna say if you want to scope, go with like a cheaper rattler or something. This is only a 256 core, so you know your cheap rattler like your TS19 256, it's 999 bucks, guys. It's an actual scope made for shooting off of a rifle, made for high recoil. Definitely a better use of your money. You can also use it as a scanner as well. They make adapters to hold on to it and hold it, you know, as like a monocular. So spend the extra 500 bucks, I guess. That'd be my recommendation. Now, as far as the scanner goes, thing is sweet. The image is pretty decent, especially zoomed out. It looks pretty solid. Focus it in, it looks great. So anyway, guys, I hope you liked the video. I'm sorry we didn't like officially get it zeroed in, but we did prove it can hold up to the recoil, and it does hold zero. Our group stayed consistent. It's just hard to zero. So be that as it may, if you want to fiddle with it, great. Anyway, that's about it, guys. I want to thank iRay for sending this T2 Pro out to me. And if you guys want to pick one up, check out the link in the description below. And also, I'll put a link to the accessory kit for this guy as well, in case you do want the scope housing and things like that. It's probably going to be doing a giveaway on the channel for this at a later date. So let's see how many likes and comments we can get on this video. If you guys want me to do a giveaway on this unit, let me know and we can do a little giveaway, something special here for our loyal subscribers. I don't really think I'll be doing much with this, so giveaway to somebody who might need it. Be awesome. Anyway, guys, that's gonna do it. Until next time on the Hunt, I'll see you later.